Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
It is stop number 2 on this latest D-backs road trip. We're in Philadelphia for the first of 3 games against the Phillies, who begin this series with baseball's worst record. Patrick Corbin, coming off a win in his last start, faces the Phillies' Aaron Nola. Glad you're with us. It's D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Citizens Bank Park, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly along the way. The Diamondbacks have matched the best start in franchise history. They begin tonight only 1 game behind the lead for the National League West. And Bob, not only that, over the last month here, the Diamondbacks have been baseball's best team.
Yeah, with a 20-8 record. We looked at it very early on in the season. We saw that the early season schedule was loaded with good ball clubs, the Giants, the Dodgers, the Nationals, the Indians, the Colorado Rockies. But we also saw this little stretch of schedule where the Diamondbacks should be able to make some hay, and boy, have they since the middle of May.
And only a game behind the Rockies for the division lead. Colorado plays at San Francisco later tonight. Well, the Phillies are struggling. They'd lost 8 in a row before a win over Boston here last night, but they have a couple of names in their starting lineup tonight that Valley fans should recognize.
Yeah, Aaron Altair out in right field, Tommy Joseph at first base. Were it not for these 2 guys from Arizona, Phillies would be even worse. They're 1-2 the Phillies offensively in home runs and RBIs. They've been carrying the load offensively for this team.
Well, the D-backs off to a good start here after a pair of wins in Detroit. 2-0 on this road trip so far, and tonight it's the first of 3 here in Philadelphia. First pitch coming up shortly on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Wild Horse Pass, and Bequiva. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Santan Ford, we are Santan Ford. By the Donor Network of Arizona, sign up, save lives. Visit DonateLifeAZ.org. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Your Valley Honda dealer, where you get more standard features for less money. By Carl's Jr. Stars for Heroes is back at Carl's Jr. Visit any participating location today to support military veterans. By Oregano. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Get ready for the gig life. And by State Farm, here to help life go right. Welcome to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Diamondbacks beginning the second leg of this latest 3-city road trip after taking both games in Detroit. A little muggy here tonight. There is a chance of thunderstorms in the area, about 30% or so, 81 degrees. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly, and Todd Walsh along the way. The D-backs have won 4 straight, 7 of their last 8. Only a game behind the Rockies for the division lead as we start this one. Here's the Starting lineup for the Diamondbacks brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Gregor Blanco once again leading it off out in center field. David Peralta out in right. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb across the diamond at third. Chris Owings starting at shortstop tonight. Brandon Drury at second base. Daniel Descalso out in left field with Jeff Mathis doing the catching for left-hander Patrick Corbin.
Your Ram Truck starting pitcher for the Phillies is the right-hander Aaron Nola. They made him the 7th pick in the draft only 3 years ago out of LSU. He was in the big leagues the following season. He's been good but inconsistent this year and is a key part of an extremely young Philadelphia pitching staff.
That throws a couple of different fastballs, a 2-seam sinker and a 4-seamer when he wants to elevate. A couple different curveballs, one that's a big loopy one a little shorter and sharper. Also throws a straight changeup.
Let's take a look at the Phillies defensively around Aaron Nola. That's sponsored by Nationwide Vision Centers.
There's Valley resident Aaron Altair. He'll be out in right field. Odubel Herrera in center field. Ty Kelly over in left. It'll be Mikael Franco at third base. Freddie Galvis at short. Howie Kendrick, the veteran, at second base. Another Valley resident, Tommy Joseph, over at first base. Cameron Rupp will be doing the catching tonight for right-hander Aaron Nola.
Carlos Torres is our plate umpire tonight. He'll have the balls and strikes. Crew Chief Paul Nardis at first base. James Hoy at second and Chris Guccione's at third. The Phillies got a 1-0 win here over the Red Sox last night. That snapped an 8-game losing streak, but they begin this series with baseball's worst record, 22-43. So they've lost almost twice as many as they've won. And they're already 17.5 games behind Washington's NL East lead. It's been a tough road here, Bob, for the Phillies, and it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah, I think they realized that they were in somewhat of a rebuilding mode, but they expected some of their young players to make that next step, and I think a few of them have regressed under Pete Mackanin here in Philadelphia. It's going to be a slog through the second half of the season because chances are anybody that's playing well will get traded at the deadline.
That's true. They slogged their way through a 6-22 month of May, and June, frankly, hasn't been a whole lot better. So here are the Diamondbacks, 15 games over 500. They have matched the best start in franchise history. Torey Lovullo pleased, his club doing a lot of things right. It's hard not to be excited about this team as we open up the first of 3 games here at Citizens Bank Park. Gregor Blanco, 265 at a home run, will lead it off against Aaron Nola. Maikel Franco in a couple of steps at third. And there's ball one. We're underway. Blanco has hit safely in each of his last 6 starts. And he has really given them a veteran presence at the top of this lineup with A.J. Pollock out. And he smashes one just by a diving Howie Kendrick and into right, a leadoff single.
Good start for Blanco and the Diamondbacks. A ringing single into right field to start it.
I'll bring up David Peralta. David in right field tonight, 314 and 6 home runs. In there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Aaron Nola shares one thing with Patrick Corbin besides tonight's start. Much like Patrick, Nola is a guy who struggles in the first inning. He's given up 6 first-inning runs in 8 starts this year. 30 first-inning runs in 41 career starts. So the first inning, Bob, has been a hurdle for this guy.
Yeah, and getting speed on the base doesn't help at all. Base runners are a perfect 7 for 7 against Aaron Nola. Cameron Rupp behind the plate has only thrown out 2 of 14 attempted base stealers this year, so look for the Diamondbacks to be aggressive on the bases.
Blanco 6 for 7 in his stolen base attempts. Nola going to keep an eye on him. Dave McKay coaching at first.
Counter punching.
They've seen a lot of it after the Diamondbacks were so aggressive on the bases to start the year.
You know the Phillies staff, they look at video, they read the stats, they check out the strengths and weaknesses of their opposition, and they know that the Diamondbacks, if given the opportunity, are going to be extremely aggressive on the bases. So Torrey likes to call it counterpunching. The throws to first, pitcher holding the ball out there on the mound, using a slide step, occasionally pitching out.
Foul back, and David's in an 0-2 hole. Well, Blanco's been a huge part of that. He's really done a nice job helping fill the void left by the A.J. Pollock injury. Last 14 starts for Blanco. He's walked 10 times and he's scored 17 runs. So he's been on base a lot.
And if you get on base a lot hitting in front of Goldie and Jake Lamb, you're going to get on the plate a bunch.
Goldie and Lamb both in the top 5 of the majors in runs batted in. Fastball's up and it's 1-2. Blanco takes off for second. Peralta hits it up the middle. A nice play there by Freddie Galvis, who was standing right in the spot where the ball was hit.
That's just unfortunate. Galvis, the cover guy on the stolen base attempt, and that ground ball led him right to the bag. Catches the ball with the left foot on the base, throws on for the easy double play.
2 outs, base is empty for Paul Goldschmidt now. 323, 15 home runs, third in the majors with that OPS. Looked like Nola might be in trouble. Suddenly he's got 2 outs on 6 pitches. Cameron Rupp wanted that one down and away. It sailed up and in on Goldie. Goldie had 4 hits in the 2 games in Detroit, including a home run. He's homered in 2 of his last 3 games. It's 1-1. All fastballs so far to Goldie, and it's 1-2. This is where Nola may like to go to that curveball. That's his big weapon, the curveball. As Bob mentioned, he's got 2 versions of it, kind of a big sweeper and then a tighter, sharper curveball that's got some good bite to it. Fastball away, missed. It's 2-2. More than half of Nola's strikeouts since the start of last season have come on that curveball. And he'll throw it to right-handers a lot more than most pitches you'd normally see. There's one of them anyway. Full count, 3-2.
Now you can see from Nola's delivery, low 3/4. Occasionally he really gets underneath the baseball. We've already seen a couple of fastballs sail up and in to Goldie. Occasionally when he tries to throw the curveball from that low arm slot, he doesn't get his hand in a proper position. That flattens out.
Well, he gets a double play ball and a strikeout to get out of the first. Patrick Corbin coming up in Philadelphia. And Phillies just getting underway. We start the home half of the first inning. A look at your Ram truck starter for the Diamondbacks. It's the lefty Patrick Corbin. Searching for answers and a return to form. 5-6, a 5.38 ERA. But Patrick coming off a win over the Padres in his previous start last Thursday at Chase Field.
Yeah, unfortunately, Patrick hasn't been missing a lot of bats this year. In his 72 innings of work, he's given up 93 base hits. That's the third most in the National League, behind Clayton Richard and Matt Moore of the San Francisco Giants.
Odubel Herrera set to lead it off for the Phillies. This guy is one of the biggest pace of play offenders in the game today. He is in no hurry. Time now, BB, for your Valley Honda dealer's key to the game.
Well, for Patrick, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, which is what he would love to have here in the first inning. As you mentioned, the first inning has really been a struggle for Patrick this year. It would really help things to get through a quick first inning.
Just like Aaron Nola did. Well, this is good. He's ahead of Herrera 0-2. Odubel Herrera 244 and 5 homers. The OPS down more than 100 points from his all-star season of a year ago. And he likes to step out of the box after every pitch, kind of take a stroll, adjust some gloves, take some swings. He's almost at times reluctant to hit.
This is a guy, if he were fined for every pace of game offense, he would be playing for free.
Well, it's a good start for Corbin. He strikes out Herrera. The lineup for Pete McCannon's Philadelphia Phillies. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
And we've seen the center fielder, Odubel Herrera, in the leadoff spot. Howie Kendrick, the veteran, making his way to the plate. He'll be at second base. Aaron Altair out in right field. Tommy Joseph at first base. Mikael Franco down at third base. Ty Kelly in left field. Cameron Rupp doing the catching. Freddie Galvis, who turned a nice double play in the top half of the inning, will be at shortstop. And Aaron Nola, the pitcher, will bat ninth.
Here is the former Dodger, Howie Kendrick. Patrick throwing strikes. It's 0-1. Kendrick 330 and a pair of homers. The way he's going, might not figure to finish up the season in Philadelphia. They don't have a lot of trade pieces, but he might be one. Kendrick went down in the middle of April with an oblique strain. He was out nearly 40 games, didn't make it back until the very end of May, but in 15 games since he's returned, he's hitting almost 330.
Well, and we've seen plenty of Howie Kendrick in the past, and in 2 strike counts, you might as well put every defender on the right side of the field. At least if his history holds true. That's the way he's beaten the Diamondbacks many times as a member of the Dodgers, shooting balls into right field with 2 strikes.
Stay away. Fastball missed it. It's 2-2. Boy, there was that season 2 years ago, his first year in LA with the Dodgers after coming over from the Angels. Everything was a double in the gap in right center. Couldn't get him out. Puts it on the ground toward Brandon Drury. Backhands it from the outfield grass and throws it out. 2 down. ARI on defense for the D-backs. Brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Descalso in left, Blanco in center, Peralta over in right field. It'll be Lamb and Owings on the left side of the infield with Drury and Goldschmidt on the right side. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for left-hander Patrick Corbin.
Aaron Altair. This is one of the bright spots for the Phillies in a dismal year. Out of Aqua Freya High School in Avondale, 281. Leads the Phillies with 11 homers and 36 runs batted in. Broken bat roller. Drury smothers it, throws from his wallet and gets him. A nice play by Brandon Drury in the outfield there to take a base hit away from Aaron Altair. And Patrick Corbin works a 1-2-3 first. A good start for Patrick here in Philadelphia. No score. turned in his first perfect inning since April 30th against the Rockies. No score here. Hey fans, the can't miss event of the summer hits South Beach. Baseball's biggest stars take the field. It's the MLB All-Star Game, July 11th from Marlins Park in Miami, only on Fox. Well, you said, Bob, the key was a 1-2-3.
How about that?
So a good start for Corbin. Jake Lamb leads off the second against right-hander Aaron Nola.
If I would have known it was that easy, would have used that for a key every Patrick Corbin start.
The numbers on Jake: 279, 16 home runs, 57 runs batted in, the most in the major leagues. Good ballpark for some of these lefties: Peralta, Lamb, Descalso. There's lots of room in right center field. 398 to that gap, and a relatively short porch out there. Boy, Carlos Torres was hearing it from the Phillies dugout on that last pitch, insisting the pitch was off the plate. Phillies don't agree.
First two deliveries were almost exactly the same spot, and Cameron Rupp actually turned his head to get into the home plate umpire's ear a little bit, and then he started to hear it from the bench and decided that's about enough.
Carlos Torres, by nature, does not call a lot of strikes back there. That's sort of his MO. A leadoff walk brings up Chris Owings. Not a strike call. A lot of the young guys aren't real strike callers with these umpires.
Well, until they get the memo. It's a search for strikes.
Well, did you ever obtain a copy of that memo?
I never did.
It seems to have haunted you over the years.
Just one of those moments that stood out for my managerial career.
Here's Chris Owings, 296, 7 home runs. There's that breaking ball from Nola. Aaron Nola, when he's at his best, is doing a good job mixing in the curveball and changeup. Gets a lot of soft contact that way. There's another breaking ball. Seo laces it foul.
Hey, you talk about that soft contact, according to Fangraphs. About 24% of the batted balls against Aaron Nola have been classified as soft contact. Something that Zach Greinke could certainly appreciate. And major league average is just under 19% for soft contact against an opposing pitcher. So 23.7, nearly 24%. Pretty good for Nola.
Ahead of Owings, 0-2. Well, Nola's one of the big pieces in a rebuild process that really hasn't quite begun for the Phillies. They have some very highly regarded prospects, all still in the minor leagues. A couple guys are up now, like Nola, guys that they can build around. Aaron Altaire's another one. It's Pete Mackanin and his pitching coach Bob McClure there, just kind of biding their time. That's bounced foul in front of Dave McKay at first. It's a very, very young pitching staff that Bob McClure has to deal with, and Nola is one of their biggest pieces, a former first-round pick. Right at Galvis, and it's off the glove. Lamb was headed back to first. He'll make it into second. Freddie Galvis just whiffed on it and clanked it at shortstop. It was hit right to him.
I think he was taking a peek to see where Jake Lamb was, whether he could return a throw to first base and possibly turn two. Just took his eye off the ball ever so slightly. It ticks off the webbing of the glove into shallow center field.
So the D-backs have something going here. E6 puts runners on first and second. Nobody out for the red-hot Brandon Drury. Drury has hit a home run in 4 of his previous 7 games. Breaking ball misses badly, and it's 1-0. Brandon, 297, 8 home runs. He's had an RBI in 4 consecutive games. Lamb at second and Owings at first. Another breaking ball away. That's that big sweeping curveball. We told you Nola really has 2 kinds of curveballs. One's the big sweeper, the other is the tighter, shorter one. And if they can lay off that big sweeper, they'll force him to throw strikes.
Or if he can prove he can command that slow one, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge against Nola tonight. But he rarely throws that big sweeper in the strike zone, tries to get swings and misses on that pitch.
Diamondbacks, if they can take that pitch away from him, should be in pretty good shape. Drury has spat on 2 so far. He's up 2-0. Fastball's in there for a strike. Brandon had an RBI single in the win Wednesday at Detroit. He's hit safely in 5 straight games and 7 of his last 8. Hitters count here 2-1. Fastball away is a strike, and it's 2-2.
Wow.
Well, he was not happy with Carlos Torres on that one.
Well, you'll see why here in a moment.
Well, he was just hearing it from the Philadelphia dugout about pitches off the plate that were called balls, and he just called that one a strike. So Nola back even now, 2-2. Got him with a breaking ball. Second strikeout for Aaron Nola. First out in the second.
Hey fans, the D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Well, Nola may have gotten some help from Carlos Torres there. He's behind on Drury 2-0. Bounce back to strike him out. Now he'll deal with Daniel Descalso. Daniel at 212 with 5 homers. Another start in left field for the injured Yasmani Tomas. First pitch swinging, popped it up to left field for Ty Kelly. 2 outs.
Very quick at bat that time for Daniel Descalso. I watched him take batting practice today, and it looked like he was making a concerted effort to drive the ball that direction, left center and left field. You know, a lot of times these guys are coming straight out of the video room, watching the opposing pitcher that night, and come up with a game plan and try to implement it in batting practice and take it right into the game. Daniel just a little overly aggressive on that first delivery.
The catcher tonight is Jeff Mathis. He's in a 1 for 24 right now. He swings at the first pitch, hits a tapper foul.
Oh, he's going to call him out.
Yep. That's the end of the inning. Bottom 2 coming up. No score in Philly. on the pizza, she's trying a cheesesteak. So that's about par for the course here. Speaking of which, tomorrow, fans, the third round of the U.S. Open, the world's greatest players battle to be crowned America's champion. The 117th U.S. Open continues tomorrow, 8 a.m. on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Scottsdale's Tommy Joseph will lead it off. Archie Bradley chilling in the bullpen out there. A muggy Friday night in Philadelphia. Joseph's got a hot bat right now. He's riding a career best 11-game hitting streak. Hits it hard to third. Jake Lamb's got it, sets and throws. Got all day to throw Tommy Joseph out. He's not exactly a burner up there. 4 up, 4 down for Corbin.
Yeah, and that ball got to Jake very quickly down there at third base on the backhand side. Had plenty of time to recover and throw across the diamond. Really had to reach out there. I mean, Tommy Joseph got some hooking action on that hard ground ball. Very nearly got away from Jake.
Michael Franco now, the slumping third baseman. His struggles have been an ongoing storyline this year. Those numbers are way down. That OPS should be about 200 points higher. 224 and 7 homers. He's not producing at all the way they need him to. Big swing and a miss at that slider, and it's 1-1. Franco, since the end of April, has just 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. And it's not that he strikes out a whole bunch. He does, and his strikeout rate is actually career low. He's just got some pitch selection issues. There's a grounder short for Chris Owings.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
4 consecutive ground ball outs for Patrick Corbin. He's retired all 5 he's faced. And here's the left fielder and former New York Met, it's Ty Kelly. 233 on the year. He started only 3 games all season. But they can't find a left fielder right now who can hit the ball. Been a bit of a problem. They gave Michael Saunders $9 million. He's not hit. So tonight against the lefty, it's Ty Kelly. He's a switch hitter. Kelly was waived by the Mets a few weeks into the season, picked up by the Blue Jays, who then sold him here to the Phillies. 2-1. Popped it up behind first for Goldie. Very good start for Patrick Corbin. A 9-pitch second inning. 6 up, 6 down. No score. fans enjoy afternoon baseball at Chase Field with matinee price tickets. The next home matinee is against these Phillies Monday, June 26th at 12:40 p.m. followed by the Cardinals on Thursday, June 29th. Get your matinee tickets now at matinee pricing. dbacks.com/matinee. Really hard to ask for a better start than what we've had from Patrick Corbin so far. He's retired all 6 Phillies he's faced. Now Patrick leads off the third against right-hander Aaron Nola. Phillies have yet to hit a ball out of the infield against Corbin. Nola's behind 2-0. He was 2-0 through his first couple of starts this year. That's when he went down with a lower back strain and missed a month. And he's gone only 1-4 in 5 starts since he returned from the injury, but much of that has been lack of run support. They've not hit at all for him. So the record is a little deceiving. Nola has received 5 runs of support total in his last 5 starts. That one got away from him, and Corbin's ahead 3-1. Nola walked Jake Lamb to lead off the second. Now he's behind on Corbin to start the third. All 4, second walk.
Hey fans, tonight we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run and strikeout in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, over $3.3 million has been raised in the challenge, and you can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org.
Third time in 3 innings, the Diamondbacks have had their leadoff man reach base. Blanco started it off with a base hit to right field. Good news, very good news, in fact, Torey Lovello told us today about A.J. Pollock. A.J. will report to Reno and play about 5 innings with the Aces tomorrow in a rehab start. Then take Sunday off just to rest and recover. Probably play another game after that. And then hopefully join the Diamondbacks on the next homestand. Ty Kelly in left. So A.J. is getting very, very close.
Just keep your fingers crossed for good weather in Reno. That's the last thing in the world you want is for A.J. Pollock to be out there slopping around in the mud and rain.
Torey was saying A.J. is really excited. He knows it's only a matter of time now. So he'll rehab at Reno tomorrow, 5 innings, day off. And maybe one more day, go a little bit longer than 5 innings, and hopefully he'll be back after that. But will not appear in that big series against the Rockies next week. No sense in trying to mess with that groin injury, coming back from that and trying to play at altitude at Coors Field, so they'll wait until the D-backs get back home. Peralta hit into a double play his first time up, bounced a ball up the middle just right where Freddie Galvis happened to be standing, and it was a tailor-made double play ball. Boy, David got off to a slow start this year. 2 weeks into the year, his batting average was below 180. And really nothing much was happening for him at the plate. But since then, from April 17th on, just under 50 games, he's hit over 350. By Joseph. Kendrick is there. Nola covers. 2 outs. Corbin at second. Tommy Joseph, a converted catcher, and he's still in a sense learning first base, but he's kind of got a catcher's range out there, as it were, for a first baseman. Diamondbacks are 0 for 8 so far with runners on base. Got to change that here. Corbin at second, 2 down for Goldie, who struck out his first time up. Hard to shortstop. Freddie Galvis is there. Low throw. Joseph's got it. And that's the end of the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the third at Citizens Bank Park. No score.
Todd Walsh back. I sorry I'm late. I had to crush some of these shrimp and lobster rolls in the pregame meal, but I have a little revelation for you. Skipper Torey Lovello has won the What I Did on My Off Day contest.
Okay.
In fact, he's the only guy I asked, and therefore he wins, but I think he would have won it anyways. Did you hear what he did yesterday?
Yeah, he went to Gettysburg with his wife. And they did, he said they got the little headphones and they walked around, did their own tour for 3 hours.
What a day. I mean, that is a way to spend the day. We talked to him about it, and just the emotion that he felt. We'll have it on the pregame show tomorrow. But very, very inspirational day, and I'm glad he shared it with us. I just wish we knew, because we would have gone along for the ride.
Sounds like a pregame show to me.
It is, yes. Thank you.
Cameron Rupp, the catcher. Peralta runs that down. Corbin has retired the first 7 Phillies.
I like how you think. Now, thanks, Bob. You'll get a producing credit tomorrow. He also had a pretty busy day today. I don't know if you heard about this, but went and played hoops at the Palestra.
Yes, and the foul.
How about that, huh?
There's the great Leo Gilmartin on the end there. Mike Hazen, the GM, on the right. It's an all-star group there. These basketball games on the road are becoming a thing.
Yeah. It looks like it. Everybody's sweating bullets right there.
Everyone except Leo. I'm not sure Leo really.
Got to know a guy, though, to get into the Palestra.
Did you get him in?
No. I'm a Pac-12 guy.
Freddie Galvis, the shortstop. The Palestra, that's a big deal. That's old school.
Yeah.
It's like going to the Blue Horizon for a fight.
If I could, I would like to chase the A.J. Pollock story. I don't know if you guys caught this, but Nick Picoro from the state's largest newspaper pushed him a little bit on A.J. about how many at-bats he would need before they all felt comfortable for his return. And he walked the line a little bit and said, we're thinking maybe 10 to 15.
Yeah, he told us he'll play in Reno tomorrow for 5 or so innings, rest on Sunday, probably play again on Monday, maybe go 7-ish innings, and then they'll see. So that's really good news. Galvis swings at a pitch in the dirt. Mathis completes the strikeout.
Back to the shrimp and lobster rolls. Bob will have a post-game production meeting for tomorrow's pregame show in the lobby of the hotel about 1 a.m. All right?
That's way past my bedtime, Todd.
Pizza will be served.
Oh, I'll be there.
He'll be there early. Great start for Patrick Corbin. He's set down the first 8. The pitcher Aaron Nola now. How about Patrick Corbin? 25 pitches to get the first 8 outs. It's hard to get more efficient than that. There's the Fanatic. By the way, it's National Mascot Day today.
Really? I didn't know that.
And just by coincidence, we're here with one of the best. He usually does 2 things. One, harasses Todd, and also usually stops by to say hello to us. So maybe some point tonight or the weekend.
Generally, we smell him before we see him.
Oh yeah, it is muggy.
And he doesn't stop moving. I mean, he's like D. Baxter. When D. Baxter puts that costume on, well, it's not really a costume, but I mean, when he puts his makeup on, gets ready for a game, he doesn't stop until the game is over, just like the Fanatic. Look at him. I'm not happy with that D-backs fan in the front row.
Yep. I think that's Mrs. Torrey. Yeah, they're busted. Well, he's always good for a laugh or two.
I thought maybe Torrey would make his way over here to the ballpark yesterday. The Red Sox were in town, renew acquaintances with some of his old buddies in the Red Sox organization, but Gettysburg with the wife, I think, was probably a better choice.
He said he wanted to catch up with John Farrell, but he really wanted a day that didn't involve any baseball at all. He wanted just to take a mental day off, which I think is a really smart idea. Jake Lamb in the hole, spins and throws. Patrick Corbin outstanding so far. He's retired all 9 Phillies he's faced. Come out to meet Jake Lamb Saturday, June 24th at the Tempe Cox Solution Store, 2040 East Rio Solano Parkway. Jake will be there from 11 a.m. to noon. Meet fans and sign autographs. Don't miss out. Jake Lamb coming up June 24th in Tempe. Stop by, say hello.
Boy, you're crushing me between innings, partner. The way
What?
you could quote movie lines, I swear.
It's not good. Well, I mean, out of nowhere, you turn to me and go, have you watched Smokey and the Bandit recently? Well, who hasn't? That's the answer.
Oh, brother.
Well, it's time for the Diamondbacks to get this offense eastbound and down. They are already 0 for 9 with the men on base. Had 3 one-pitch outs so far against Aaron Nola.
Yeah, trying to be aggressive, jump on that first pitch in the strike zone they see. Unfortunately, what we mentioned earlier, a lot of soft contact, a lot of easy outs for Aaron Nola in the early going.
Nola has not been especially sharp. They've had the leadoff man reach base safely in all 3 innings so far. Blanco singled to start the ball game. Lamb walked in the second. Corbin, the pitcher, walked in the third. But he's got a double play ball behind him. He's got a couple of strikeouts, some ground ball outs, and Diamondbacks not been able to capitalize. In fact, Blanco singled to lead off the ball game, the only hit so far for either team. And now Jake Lamb sent to lead off the fourth. Jake had 3 hits in the 2 games at Comerica Park in Detroit. 11 RBIs in his last 8 games to stay ahead of the field, leading the majors in runs batted in, 57. Were you watching Smokey and the Bandit on the flight?
I don't remember why that popped into my head right there, but it was all worthwhile. You made me laugh.
It's a classic. That was one of those movies where unfortunately they made like 5 more of them.
Yeah, they should have stopped after the original. Jackie Gleason.
2-0 to Jake. Fastball's in there for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Aaron Nola doesn't do himself any favors, or his catcher Cameron Rupp for that matter. Rupp sets up outside, he throws it inside. Rupp sets up inside, he throws it outside. Now they did get the call on that last delivery, even though he was set up off the outside corner and had to reach all the way across the plate to catch that pitch.
Tried to drop that curveball down and away for a strike. He missed it. It's a full count, 3-2. That's that pitch that they really want the Diamondbacks hitters to lay off of tonight. Breaking ball hung it out over the plate, and Jake knocked it into center. Second hit for the Diamondbacks. The leadoff man aboard for the 4th time in 4 innings.
Oh, he took a real nice pass at that breaking ball, as you mentioned, just kind of fluttered up there in the middle of the strike zone and banged it right back at the Phillies right-hander.
All right, D-backs 0 for 9 with men on base so far. Time to turn that around. Here's Chris Owings, who reached on a Freddie Galvis error his first time up. Nola has not always lived up to his potential this year. They think he's going to be a big piece for their future, but they're still looking for that consistency. There's Bob McClure on the left there, the pitching coach. I mean, especially for somebody who was the 7th overall pick in the draft out of an advanced college program at LSU. He's been good, but they need him to be better. But they're going through some of the growing pains you expect with a young pitcher. He's only 24 years old. In fact, he just turned 24 earlier this month. But they've been on him a little bit, Aaron Nola. I mean, he lost all 3 of his starts in May, and that's when Pete Buchanan and Bob McClure, they sat him down and they said, you know, let's go, wake up. You're better than this. We know you're better than this, so start doing it. And for the most part, he has. He's been better lately. But they kind of tried a tough love approach, it sounds like.
Yeah, everybody responds differently to the stimulus that you give them, and some guys respond very well when you get on them and tell them, hey, you've been disappointing. You haven't done what we expected you to do. And for some guys, that's going to spur them to get the best.
Some days he's very effective and extremely efficient, Aaron Nola. Other days he throws a million pitches and can't throw strikes. Good take there by CO. Lays off that one. It's 2-1. Nola was beaten by the Cardinals in his previous start. That was Sunday in St. Louis. And he needed 93 pitches to get through 5 innings. 53 strikes and 40 balls. McCannon said that is unacceptable. Too many pitches. He was behind every batter he faced. He's behind Owings here, 2-1. Belts that into left. Ty Kelly has it. A pair of singles open up the 4th inning for the Diamondbacks. They had been 0 for 9 with men on base, and CO changes that with 1 swing.
That tailing fastball working its way back to the inner third of the plate, right where CO likes it. Bangs that single into left field. I think if the Diamondbacks offensively were just a little more patient against Nola, he will give them something to hit, but he's kind of spraying it around early in the count. If you get the count in your favor, look for that heater like Chris Owings did.
And again, this is the kind of start that the Phillies have grown impatient with Nola over. So far, 27 strikes, 21 balls. That's the ratio that gets out of whack for him. And, you know, pretty soon he's at 90 pitches in the 5th inning. Well, this is the way the 2nd inning started. They had Lamb at second, Owings at first, and no outs. Drury struck out, Descalso flied out. Mathis was called out at home.
Yeah, it happened so quickly at the end of that 2nd inning, but Jeff Mathis topped the ball right in front of home plate, and then as he was running down the first baseline, the ball bounced up and hit him in the leg. He was immediately called out by the home plate umpire, Carlos Torres.
So he literally got himself out.
Got himself out that time.
Drury was ahead 2-0 in the count on Nola when he struck out. Now that's the curveball they're supposed to lay off of. 1-1.
Yeah, you can see where it ends up. It looks so tantalizing, just floating up there, strike zone, upper part of the strike zone. But by the time you swing at it, that pitch is going to end up off the plate, low and away.
That tighter, sharper one he'll throw in the strike zone, the big sweeper. That usually ends up somewhere in the dirt. .50 pitches, 28 strikes for Aaron Nola. He's given up 3 hits so far, all singles. He's walked 2, struck out 2. One and one to Brandon Drury. Lamb at second, Owings at first. Hard to third. Franco knocks it down, recovers. Low throw. Joseph makes a nice scoop there, and they get Drury as the runners move up. That was hit like a rocket to third base. Franco had enough time to recover and throw him out.
Yeah, I think if he fields that cleanly, it's a double play because it was hit hard down there to third base. Would have been an easy 5-4-3 around the horn double play, but after the drop, the only out he has is across the diamond at first base. D-backs have 2 in scoring position.
Right off the heel of the glove right there. Michael Franco. So here's Descalso with a chance. Second and third, one away. He flied out to left, swinging at the first pitch his first time up. It's funny that you mentioned, Bob, that it seemed like he was working on going to left and left center in batting practice. He's had a real knack lately, Daniel Descalso, for pulling the ball, especially against right-handers. First pitch breaking ball, he threw that for a strike that time.
I would have to ask Daniel about it tomorrow, but like I said, I think many times the guys come right out of the advance meeting and they talk about Aaron Nola. What's he going to try to do? What do his pitches do when they get into the hitting zone? And it just looked to me like Daniel Descalso had determined he's going to look for that tailing fastball and try to drive it to the gap in left center.
Bounces one to first. This will get Lamb home with the game's first run. RBI for Descalso. Owings in at third, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Jeff Mathis, the catcher. Chris Owings at third, 2 outs. Another first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Oh, and 2. Couple of curveballs start out Mathis. Diamondbacks have won 4 straight games, 7 of their last 8. 1 game behind Colorado's NL West lead. The Rockies are at San Francisco later tonight. Antonio Senzatella against Jeff Samardzija. Mathis, a 2-strike hit. He knocks it into center. Owing scores, and it's 2-0 D-backs. Jeff Mathis had gone 32 consecutive games without a 2-strike hit. It had been the longest active streak in baseball.
He was 0 for 53 in those situations, but comes through in a big way here. That's a big loopy breaking ball, able to get it off the end of the bat, right back up the middle of the field to drive home the second run of the game for the D-backs.
2-strike, 2-out RBI single for Mathis. Gets the second run home. Here's Patrick Corbett, who walked his first time up. D-backs now with 4 hits. They lead it 2-0. Nola will throw 2 kinds of fastballs, the straight rising, if you want to call it that, 4-seamer, and that sinking 2-seamer that'll drop down and away from the left-hand hitter. One and 2. Phillies, if they lose this one, will drop to 22 and 44. So they will have literally lost twice as often as they've won. It's kind of hurting attendance a little bit. This somewhat sparsely attended game. Certainly fewer fans here than we're used to seeing in Philadelphia, which is a terrific sports town and a really, really nice ballpark.
Over 30,000 in here last night for the Red Sox. A lot of them were probably Red Sox fans, but
yeah, they had Chris Sale on the mound last night. Breaking ball is in there for Nola's 3rd strikeout, but the Diamondbacks get RBIs from Descalso and Mathis. They lead it 2-0. 4th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball break. It's presented by T-Mobile. A look around the rest of Major League Baseball. Miguel Cabrera, who we just saw, hit a home run, his first since May 20th. It's a walk-off as Detroit beat Tampa Bay 5-3. Matt Hoffey, the Dark Knight, back on the deal. Boy, those Mets pitching injuries just keep piling up. And how about the Rockies? They blew a 9-1 lead after 6th inning against the Giants last night. Came back to win it 10-9. They are only 1 game ahead of the Diamondbacks for the NL West lead as we start play today. Antonio Senzatella and Jeff Samardzija, starters at AT&T Park tonight. Here's Odubel Herrera. Patrick Corbin has just been outstanding. 32 pitches. 9 up, 9 down so far for Patrick. Phillies have only hit 1 ball out of the infield. Herrera struck out his first time up. Oh, 0-2. Fastball in. That's what they want Patrick Corbin to do a little more consistently. Throw those strikes arm side of the plate. Patrick's very good glove side. Arm side, I want him to work both sides of the plate a little bit more. That was a good example. Move that ball around, in and out, up and down. Herrera this season has hit left-handers just about as well as he's hit righties. He's homered 3 times against left-hand pitchers this year. Yes, he's able to lay off the breaking ball, says Chris Guccione. It's 2-2. Herrera hitless in his last 3 games, but prior to that, he put together an impressive 11-game hitting streak. And during his streak, he hit over 420, so he's had a big month at the plate.
One of the more unusual stances you'll see. We highlighted this last year. Herrera gets on the inside of his right foot and picks it up into that high leg kick as he strides into the pitch. Looks so uncomfortable when he's standing in that batter's box. And I mentioned it last year. I would make him stand there a long time. Get your sign from Jeff Mathis and then just make him wait, and try to anticipate when he might call timeout and start your delivery.
Fastball missed its full 3-2. Well, it's only fair because he makes us wait so long just to get in the box. I mean, it's a whole thing every pitch. This is what you're not supposed to do at all, especially after taking a pitch, but he still does it anyway. And he hits it well into right center. That's going to roll to the wall. Herrera's on the run. He's around second. He's digging for third. Here's the relay, and he is in there. His first triple this season, Odubel Herrera. That's the first hit for the Phillies against Patrick Corbin.
He has a lot of things he has to get timed just perfectly to catch up with a good pitch in the zone, and that was a good breaking ball down and out over the plate, and he banged it into that gap in right center field. Thought they had a chance here on the relay. Unfortunately, the throw to third base gets in there on a couple of hops from Brandon Drury, and Jake Lamb has to back up to play that big hop. Odubel in at third base with a leadoff triple.
Howie Kendrick hits it to the right side. Drury thinks about coming home. He gets the sure out. The Phillies are on the board. It's 2-1. Well, you could see Brandon for a moment there was really thinking hard about coming home.
Yeah, just playing way too deep. Ball was going to take a little too long to get to him, and then it was going to take a little bit too long for the throw back to home plate in time to get Herrera. So it did the wise thing. You're playing back for a reason. You want to avoid the big inning. You'll give them 1 run, but don't allow them to have a big inning.
Aaron Altair looks at strike 1. He grounded out his first time up. Patrick worked a 1-2-3 first tonight. Altair's a good slash line guy. 280 hitter, on base percentage over 350. That's a check swing foul. He's slugging nearly 550. Leads the Phillies in both home runs and RBIs. big lanky guy up there too. 6'5", 215. 26 years old. Patrick Corbin gets him to chase that one. Third strikeout for Patrick. 2 outs in the 4th. Well, we go from Aaron Altair to Tommy Joseph. A couple of Valley natives. Joseph drafted out of Horizon High School in Scottsdale by the Giants back in '09. First pitch swing, and he drives it deep to right. Peralta will have to play it off the wall. He'll hold Joseph to a long single. So Tommy Joseph extends his career best hitting streak. He's now hit safely in 12 straight games.
Has big power to all fields as he demonstrates right here. Just kind of flipped that ball out there halfway up with the out-of-town scoreboard in right field. Long single for Joseph. I'm just wondering if Altair and Joseph might have hit in front of and behind each other in an all-star game somewhere in Arizona.
Got to think, right?
They're a year apart in age, so I would imagine they played on some of the same all-star teams.
Michael Franco. Well, let's see here. Altair was a 9th round pick by the Phillies in '09, and Tommy Joseph was 2nd round pick by the Giants in '09. So they were even drafted the same year. Boy, Michael Franco, his season has just been a disaster.
And just his thought process, judging from the quotes that were in the local paper here this morning, his thought process is completely backwards. Usually a hitter tries to get the count in your favor, and then you narrow your strike zone. I'm looking for the perfect pitch. I've got the count in my favor. I've got a couple of strikes to play with. But Franco said exactly the opposite. When I get the count in my favor, I'm aggressive.
Chases sliders up 2-0. He's doing everything backwards.
Yeah, and when he gets to a 2-strike count, he says he tries to be more selective and make sure he swings at a strike. So everything is just backwards right now for Franco.
Well, Matt Stairs is their hitting coach, and he knows Franco's got tremendous power. This guy's been a very dangerous hitter before in his career. And he chases that one. So Corbin gets his 4th strikeout. Phillies get their first run. Diamondbacks lead it 2-1.
To the top half of the 5th inning here in Philadelphia. Time to take a look back at this day in Major League Baseball history, brought to you by Geico. With Rod Carew on at second, Tony Oliva at first, they pulled a double steal of 2nd and 3rd, and on the very next pitch, they pulled another double steal. Wow. Yeah, for Rod Carew, that was his 6th steal of home in the '69 season already.
Boy, he was a great player.
Oh.
Yeah, Tony Oliva too.
Yep.
Some of those Twins teams, late '60s, they were really, really good. Cesar Tovar and all those guys.
I remember watching Rod Carew over in Tempe in spring training. You know, we bust over from Scottsdale, and there was one guy out on the field, and there was a hula hoop about a third of the way down the third base foul line, and Rod Carew was bunting pitches off a machine, and every one of them stopped inside the hula hoop. It was amazing to watch.
Gregor Blanco single to start off the ball game. He's 1 for 2. Boy, for a while there, it was Rod Carew and George Brett.
Yep, every year.
Rod Carew did it almost better than anybody for a long, long time. Well, it hasn't exactly been shock and awe so far for the Diamondbacks. They did get 2 in the 4th against Aaron Nola. Phillies answered in the home half, so it's 2-1 as we start the 5th. Two and two. One, 2, and 3 here in the 5th inning. Blanco, Peralta, Goldie. This has become a trend with Gregor Blanco. Not that it's new for him, but it's new for us watching him in Diamondbacks colors. Just these long, extended, grinding at bats. He's become a real tone setter in that regard. Takes a curveball, but strike 3, says Carlos Torres. 4th strikeout for Nola.
Tough night to be a hitter. Very, very inconsistent strike zone behind the plate for Carlos Torres tonight. That's a breaking ball that never did get to the strike zone.
Yeah. First time Nola's gotten the leadoff man out tonight. Peralta 0 for 2. First pitch breaking ball missed. Some confusion there with both Cameron Rupp and David Peralta. What was the call?
Man, Rupp has been carrying on an ongoing conversation with Carlos Torres behind the plate, occasionally turning his head to the side to make sure the plate umpire can hear him. That's kind of a no-no. You're taught as a catcher, as long as you're facing your pitcher, you can say whatever you want.
David Peralta dunks one into right field, a 1-out single.
As soon as you start turning your head toward the umpire, everybody in the ballpark knows what you're doing, and umpires don't like that. I don't think Cameron Rupp really cares.
Well, you'll recall very early in the game, Torres was reeling hearing it from the Phillies bench. They were all over him. Goldie has struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. No shift of any kind from the Phillies. Joseph will hold Peralta on the bag at first. Fastball's in there for strike 1. It was around the strike zone.
Yeah, it was in the northeastern
Kinda
part
like,
of the
kind of like Philadelphia
United
is
States.
near New Jersey.
Yeah.
You know, it's not New Jersey, but people who are from New Jersey claim oftentimes they're from Philadelphia, like our director Phil Malika. Phil the Iron Horse Malika back in the saddle tonight, directing this ball game for us. After an extended vacation at the Jersey Shore, during which he pretended that he had a good round of golf.
Yeah, a picture of a scorecard it's no way confirmation of how well you play.
Write some numbers on a card and text all your coworkers who are working while you're not. Well, Goldie strikes out for the second time against Nola. He's got 5 strikeouts, 2 outs. Boy, he's made very quick work of Goldie tonight.
Yeah, the first pitch well out of the strike zone, but that's a very hittable fastball, middle of the plate, low 90s.
He struck out on that pitch to win the first, Goldie. Good night so far for Jake Lamb. He's walked, singled, scored a run.
Maybe teams are going to start pitching Goldie the way we used to pitch Tony Gwynn. You know, you try to work Tony Gwynn inside, he'd pull it into right field. You try to work him away, he'd shoot it into left field. So just throw it down the middle. Maybe he won't know what to do with it.
David Peralta at first, 2 outs. D-backs so far 2 runs on 5 hits. See if Noel tries to get him to chase one of those big loopy curveballs. Looks like Rupp wants a fastball up here. That little 2-seamer snuck back in. 0-2.
You can see why the Phillies are really high on Aaron Nola. When he's throwing that sinker around the zone, it has so much movement, which could possibly explain that soft contact number. That late movement gets the ball off the barrel and out near the end of the bat for a left-handed hitter. Off the barrel and down near the trademark against the righties.
Wants that same pitch down and away. And Nola can take that 2-seamer, which breaks away from the lefty, and just start it on the hip of the left-hand hitter, have it sneak back in there to catch the inside corner of that strike zone like he did in the previous pitch. Working both sides of the plate. 1-2 now on Lamb. Second base for Howie Kendrick. Bottom 5 from the Philadelphia. Diamondbacks lead the Phillies 2-1. Hey fans, vote today, vote tomorrow, vote Diamondbacks, your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. You can vote at dbacks.com/vote. Catch all the action of the 88th MLB All-Star Game. Presented by MasterCard from Marlins Park in Miami. The All-Star Game comes your way July 11th live, only on Fox. That's now 10 consecutive first pitch strikes for Patrick Corbin. As he gets ahead of Ty Kelly, the left fielder. Now it's 1-1. Patrick so far has given up only 2 hits, 1 run. He retired the first 9 Phillies he faced today. There's a Tapper foul. This is another one of those starts that Torey Lovullo will be able to point to and say, look, a lot of good moments here for Patrick Corbin. Even if some of his rougher outings, he's had good moments and done enough inside those innings in which he's been good to show that he's capable of getting back on track, and they really believe he will. And this is certainly a start to which you would point. He strikes out Ty Kelly. 5 strikeouts for Corbin. He's punched out 3 of the last 4 he's faced.
Good downward movement on this slider, really getting on top of that pitch. It always has some lateral movement from left to right as it gets into the hitting zone, but when Patrick's on top of that slider, it breaks almost straight down toward that back foot.
Big Cameron Rupp, the Phillies catcher. He flied out in his first at bat tonight. This guy is in a miserable slump right now. He is 6 for his last 58 up there. That's about a 100 batting average. Like 100.
Ooh. And given all the barking he's done to Carlos Torres behind the plate, I would suggest that he probably should chase borderline pitches.
Got a fastball up and in. Nothing borderline about that. Down and away, missed. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Cameron Rupp. Pete McCannon keeps insisting, look, Rupp might not be a 300 hitter, but he's better than this. 2-2 now. Here's Pete McCannon. Keeps telling the media here, these are the 25 players I have. I don't want to hear about so-and-so and Lehigh Valley and so-and-so in AA. These are the guys we're going with right now. They got a lot of promising prospects. This is well hit, deep right field. Peralta at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Cameron Rupp, that's his 5th, and we're tied at 2. Takes the 2-2 pitch out of here. Well, that's how you break out of a 6 for 58.
Strong right-handed hitting catcher, and this ballpark lends itself well to balls struck in the air. That one carries over that out-of-town scoreboard just into the front row.
Torey Lovullo is out now talking to Carlos Torres, the plate umpire. There's a railing and I think some plexiglass out there, and all the umpires will get together now. Chris Guccione, the third base umpire. Last man in your picture here will be Paul Nart, the crew chief from first. There he is. Here's a look.
It clearly went over the fence and then hit ricocheted off his seat, kind of bounced back toward the field. I think that was the question for Torey. He perhaps thought it hit that railing and came back on the field, but it clearly got up into the seats. Yeah, this ballpark lends itself well. If you can strike the ball in the air, you've got a chance. It carries everywhere. I mean, it's big out there just to the left of straightaway center. It's 409 feet out there at that little notch, but we saw Mookie Betts hit a couple balls up on the concourse above that mark. when the Red Sox were in here.
Shortstop Freddie Galvis. Here you see the wind blowing out there in center field. A little breezy here tonight. Galvis gets one in the air. It backs up Peralta. 2 outs. That was the 15th home run given up this year by Patrick Corbin. This is his 14th start. 2 down for the pitcher Aaron Nola. That ends a stretch of 12 straight first pitch strikes for Patrick Corbin. That one's in there, and it's 2-1. 2 runs on 5 hits for the D-backs, 2 runs on 3 hits for the Phillies. This is a roller up the middle. Backhand stop by Drury, and that ends the inning. But Cameron Rupp's 5th home run of the year has tied it at 2.
Have had some issues with the strike zone by home plate umpire Carlos Torres tonight. We're going to show you an illustration why. On consecutive pitches, Aaron Nola throws a breaking ball on the left to Gregor Blanco. That one's a called strike. On the right, it's a called ball. Nearly identical pitches, which is what Cameron Rupp on the right is trying to tell him. That's the same pitch we just struck out Gregor Blanco with. Inconsistency, man.
Threw it to the same spot. Is it harder to be more consistent on those big sweeping breaking balls than just say a fastball?
I mean, it's a little tougher because of the movement on the pitch and because of the lack of velocity. The break is much bigger, and you know, you'd like to think that a home plate umpire, after enough reps back there, can read a breaking ball just like a hitter reads a breaking ball and be able to tell whether it's in the strike zone or not. But it's been a little bit of a struggle here through 5 innings.
It's a 2-2 ball game. Diamondbacks got 2 in the 4th against Aaron Nola. Lamb and Owings led off the inning with singles. Descalso an RBI ground out. Mathis had a 2-strike, 2-out RBI single. Diamondbacks had a 2-0 lead at that point. Phillies got 1 in the 4th. Herrera had a leadoff triple against Patrick Corbin. Howie Kendrick a ground ball second base. That was an RBI, made it 2-1. Then Cameron Rupp's 1-out homer in the 5th, his 5th of the year. Tie the game at 2. Now Chris Owings will lead off the 6th.
I think it's time for some mid-inning shock and awe. Usually Diamondbacks do it in the first couple innings of a ball game, but they've kind of let everybody settle into their seats and have a cheesesteak and a beverage. All right, let's go.
CO has reached on an error, singled and scored a run. Chris has been hitting in the middle of the order a lot lately with Yasmani Tomas injured. And he's been producing like a middle of the order bat. Breaking ball misses inside. It's 2-0. CO 9 RBIs in his last 8 games. He's got 4 doubles and a home run in those last 8. Got a fastball and hit it in the air left center. It's up in that wind. Kelly and Herrera. Odubel Herrera's got it. One away. Here comes Brandon Drury. Our Cox high-speed highlights. He's got a 5-game hitting streak going into tonight. 0 for 2 so far. He's had an RBI in 4 straight games. He has been rolling lately. He has hit a home run in 4 of his last 7 games. So far he has struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. That wind has really picked up. There they are in center field behind Odubel Herrera. You can see the Philadelphia skyline behind us. Here's a chance of rain a little bit later tonight. Here's a look at downtown Philadelphia
from our Fox Arizona blimp,
which is apparently stopped in midair. Stuck on one of those buildings. Muggy, cloudy all day here today. There's about a 30% chance of rain starting, we're told, at about 11 o'clock at night local time. So that's a little bit over 2 hours from now. Drury shoots one to the left field corner. Ty Kelly over there to cut it off. He'll hold Drury to a long single. Brandon Drury now has hit safely in 6 straight games. Diamondbacks have had at least 1 base runner in all 6 innings.
That's a hanging breaking ball in the inside part of the plate. Drury rips it down into that left field corner. A couple of the longest singles you'll ever see. This one by Brandon Drury and the one that Tommy Joseph banged off the scoreboard out there in right field and only got a single out of it.
Descalso has an RBI ground out. He's 0 for 2. The start in left field tonight. Check swing Tapper. Oh, a little late to get there, and they just do get Descalso at first. Drury moves up. A little confusion there between Rupp and Nola as to who would take that one. But Drury's at second now with 2 outs.
And when you top one out in front of home plate like that, it just doesn't bounce as high on that second bounce, and very close down there at first base. Descalso hitting the very front edge of the bag.
Torlabello with his hand up saying hold on. Remember, it's a catch when it's in the back of the glove right there. But no challenge from the Diamondbacks. Well, that's another 1 pitch out for Aaron Nola. That's his 4th one tonight. Just not making him work. Jeff Mathis had an RBI single his last time up. Drury at second and 2 outs. Jeff's RBI single came with 2 strikes and 2 outs. He had gone 32 consecutive games without a 2-strike hit. That was the longest streak in baseball. Where the Phillies don't play any kind of defensive shifts at all for anybody, left or right-hand hitters. Big cut of that fastball at 0-1. Our Cricket Wireless, something to smile about. This was certainly something to smile about for Jeff Mathis. A 2-strike, 2-out RBI single. Chance for another one right here. It's 0-2. Jeff was stuck in a 1-for-25 skid before that RBI single in the fourth. Cameron Rupp running through a whole bunch of signs with Brandon Drury staring in there from second.
You mentioned the Phillies not shifting defensively as much as a lot of the teams the Diamondbacks play against. I think that has a lot to do with the pitcher on the mound. If he can't command the ball and put it where he wants, there's really no sense in over-shifting. If he's trying to hit the inside corner, he throws it over the outside corner. Guy's liable to hit that the opposite way and beat the shift anyway. So just play pretty much straight up against everybody and hope your pitcher hits his spots.
And Nola has had some games where that ball strike ratio is almost 50-50. And that's not good. D-backs have 3 2-strike hits tonight, looking for one more right here. Two and two. Diamondbacks since May 15th over the last month have the best record in baseball, 20-8. Better than the Dodgers, the Astros, the Rockies, or the Red Sox. They are number 1 over the last month. Good take there by Mathis. He's worked at full 3 and 2. Corbett on deck.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see another one of those breaking balls off the outside corner to Jeff Mathis with the pitcher waiting in the on deck circle. Nola certainly doesn't want to make a mistake to the number 8 hitter.
2 outs. Brandon Drury at second base. 3 and 2 to Jeff Mathis. Dropped it in there. 6th strikeout for Aaron Nola, who strands that one out single and keeps it a 2-2 ball game.
Steve and Bob. And guys, if I could throw a non-Smokey and the Bandit spitball on the wall just to get your take on something. This is a really interesting portion of the schedule to me with the 3 off days going into and as a part of this road trip. I thought it was fascinating that the Diamondbacks chose to travel on Monday, didn't travel after the game on Sunday at home, got in a decent time for a meal in Detroit, got to Philadelphia at a decent time, complete off day, and then weather permitting we'll have the same in Denver on Monday. Obviously we talked about how that works with the starting pitching rotation, and there's a foul ball on the first pitch of the inning, and how it will help guys at the front end of the rotation. But I talked to Torrey today, and you may have seen it on the pregame show, Steve and Bob, that, as a manager, Bob, I'm sure you can appreciate, he didn't really want his team to cool off and slow down, but you got to take those breaks when you can, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as much as the guys are playing well and grinding it out, you still physically need the time off just to lay your body down and relax a little bit, get a couple good meals in you, get a good night's sleep, and then get right back to the yard and get after it again. But I can see Torrey's point about not wanting the off days when your team is rolling the way the D-backs have been lately.
And I was surprised to find out we'd be traveling on Monday, Steve.
It's funny that we did that 2 years ago a lot, and then last year kind of got away from it. No matter what we were doing, even if we had an off day the next day on the road, we would leave after that game, say on Sunday. And to me, it makes a whole lot more sense to leave on the Monday. Everybody gets the Sunday night at home. You sleep in your own bed. You get up at a decent hour. You leave from the ballpark about 11 in the morning or so. You get to where you're going around dinner time. You have a nice meal, and you get to bed at a decent hour. It seems to make a whole lot more sense to me, rather than playing a game, getting on a plane, getting into wherever you're going at God knows when, and then you just have the day off on the road with kind of nothing to do but hang around.
My per diem took a hit, but I can live with that.
Every nickel counts. Odubel Herrera, 3-2 to lead off the 6th against Patrick Corbin. Patrick really been efficient tonight. He's only at 68 pitches. The other thing about those days off is it gives them time or a chance to manipulate the starting rotation a bit for what is shaping up to be an enormously important series next week, those 3 games against the Rockies at Coors Field. Got an extra off day on Monday. You can tinker a little bit and line things up the way you want. Off the glove of Corbin, Patrick's chasing it, but no chance to get Herrera. Is aboard for the second time tonight. Base hit for Odubel Herrera, who's 2 for 3.
Patrick able to slow it down, but unfortunately got far enough away that by the time he recovered and got to the baseball, Herrera was safely on at first. Good speed, but not a great base stealer. 4 steals, 4 times caught stealing over there at first for Herrera.
Howie Kendrick. Kendrick has twice grounded out to second base, but once for an RBI that followed a Herrera triple to lead off the 4th. And now Herrera's single has led off the 6th. Kendrick was supposed to play the outfield in Philadelphia this year. He's been in left field for the early part of the season and most of the year, but the Phillies just recently lost Cesar Hernandez for about 6 weeks with an oblique injury. He'd had a really nice year at the plate, so Kendrick has slid into second, where of course he played for so long with the Angels and the Dodgers. They've had Michael Saunders out there. Daniel Navas contributed lately. Tonight it's Ty Kelly out in left field. Kendrick at second. Well, Patrick's got 2 ground balls out of Kendrick so far. He could really use another one right here. There's Mickey Morinini. That's not a good Harry Callis coaching at first base. That was a great Harry Callis name.
Oh, yeah.
The way he said Mickey Morandini all those years. Fastball missed. It's 2-1. Herrera holding all the way. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, when he was with the Los Angeles Dodgers, I used to dread it when the batter ahead of Howie Kendrick got on first base, because it even opened up a bigger hole on that right side of the infield. He's a .300 hitter in his career with a runner at first base and a hole on the right side.
2-2. It's a big inning for Patrick Corbin. Herrera aboard to lead it off. You've got their big hitters coming up. Kendrick right now, then Altair on deck, and Joseph behind him. Deep to center field. Blanco at the warning track. Herrera will tag up first to second. Deepest part of the ballpark. And even with a fly ball out, Kendrick finds a way to advance the runner.
Yeah, pretty heads up that time by Odubel Herrera. He saw that ball hit into deep center field. We were talking about that just the other day. How many times do you see a major league outfielder drop a routine fly ball? You might as well go back and tag. Read the throw from the center fielder. If you think you can make it, keep on going. If the throw's on line and you don't think you can make it, you got plenty of time to slam on the brakes and get back to first. Well, he realizes that's going to stay in the park, but it's going to be deep. They got a chance to move up 90 feet on a fly out.
4-0-1 to straightaway center field here at Citizens Bank Park, so no chance for Blanco to get Herrera. He's at second, 1 out for Aaron Altair, who's 0 for 2.
Good straight changeup that time from Patrick. That's a pitch we haven't seen a lot of from him in recent starts.
Pitch that he's never really been able to pick up with any kind of consistent comfort. Patrick Corbin, first pitch strikes to 15 of the last 16 hitters. He's been ahead in the count all night long, and now he's up on Altair 0-2. Altair has grounded out, struck out. Leads the Phillies in home runs and RBIs. Herrera at second with 1 out. Tommy Joseph, the on-deck hitter. Smashes it to third off the glove of Lamb. Herrera moves up. And Altair's aboard.
Just off the fingertips of the glove right there. Once again, gets far enough away that Jake can't recover and get it out anywhere on the field.
On the corners with 1 out. E5 puts Altair at first. The error charged to Jake Lamb, and here's Tommy Joseph, who singled his last time up to extend his hitting streak to a career high 12 games. First and third, 1 out. Fastball misses up. It's 1-0. Joseph got off to a very slow start this year. He hit under 180 in April, but since May the 1st, he's hitting over 300 with 9 home runs. High in the air, left field, Descalso. Herrera's at third. He'll stop there. Big out number 2 for Patrick Corbin. Juan Samuel coaching at third.
You know, thinking back to last year, the series at Chase Field against the Phillies, and you know, we had highlighted Tommy Joseph an awful lot, being a Valley resident, and if memory serves, he had a real rough series.
Yeah, he did.
He was squeezing the sawdust out of the handle of that bat. He was obviously trying to do the best he could in front of friends and families back in Arizona for the first time as a big leaguer, and he was trying a little too hard last year.
He's been one of their most consistent run producers. having a good year this year. Here's Patrick's workload so far. About to throw pitch number 80, Michael Franco. The third baseman steps up. He has grounded out, struck out. He's 0 for 2. Herrera's at third, Altair at first, 2 outs. Michael Franco, 5 swings and misses tonight now. And counting tonight in his last 16 home games here at Citizens Bank Park, he is 8 for 56. $80 pitches for Patrick, 54 for strikes. This is like fish in a barrel here. He cannot not swing at a slider. It doesn't matter what the count is.
Throw it again. Down there in the dirt.
They've tried everything with Franco. They've encouraged him. They've yelled at him. They've benched him. They've dropped him in the lineup. Nothing has worked. Here's the 0-2 from Patrick Corbin. Lifts it in the air. Deep left center to Scalzo at the track, and it's off the wall. Herrera is home. Here comes Altair. And the Phillies have the lead. Michael Franco, a 2-run double, and it's 4-2 Philadelphia.
Oh, pitch down in the zone. You see Jeff Mathis assuming a blocking position back there behind the plate. But that time, Franco able to get the barrel on it, drive it into that gap in left center field. That's one of those instances where the pitcher will come back to the dugout between innings and say that was a good pitch. Well, if it was in the dirt, it would have been a good pitch. He might have swung at it anyway. Unfortunately, toying with the bottom of that strike zone gave Franco just enough opportunity to scoop it out into that gap in left center.
He's at second. 2 runs are home. Here's Ty Kelly, 0 for 2.
Had a pitching coach with the Giants my first year in the big leagues. Don McMahon, former big league pitcher for a long time. And I believe it was Fred Brining, if I'm not mistaken, hung a split finger and gave up a home run and came back to the dugout after the inning and said that was a good pitch. And Don McMahon said good pitches don't go that far.
Brandon Drury from the outfield grass. Michael Franco, a 2-run double. Diamondbacks are down 4-2 after 6. A 4-2 lead over the Diamondbacks. Jeremy Hazelbaker will lead it off, hitting for Patrick Corbin to start the top half of the 7th. And while we have a moment, let's take a look at our timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. We go back to the 1976 season. On this day in 1976, Mark the Bird Fidrich
He came up to the major leagues on May 15th and threw his 6th consecutive complete game.
Pride of Western Massachusetts, Mark Fidrich.
Back in the day when guys didn't ease into the rotation, you hand them the ball and shake their hand 3 hours later.
Boy, he was something.
Oh, he really was.
Well, the Phillies have scored now in 3 consecutive innings. They were down 2-0. They now have handed Aaron Nola a 4-2 lead. Patrick Corbin's night is over after 6 innings. And Jeremy Hazelbaker, as Bob mentioned, will hit for Corbin to lead off the 7th. Those runs were unearned against Patrick Corbin. Hazelbaker 313 with a homer. He is 4 for 11 as a pinch hitter this year. Two and one. T.J. McFarland, the left-hander, warming up with the Diamondback bullpen. T.J., if Torrey needs it, can usually give him more than 1 inning. Freddie Galvis charges. Hazelbaker can run, and he beats it out. Jeremy Hazelbaker's got pretty good speed. He's an excellent base runner, and he was just ahead of Galvis's throw that time.
That's one you're rooting for. One more bounce, one more bounce, one more bounce. Give Galvis a chance to misplay the ball. He actually got to it in pretty good shape, got rid of it quickly. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Very close.
Pete McCannon is looking backward toward his video people. Larry Boa, his bench coach down there. No challenge. So the 5th time in 7 innings the Diamondbacks have had the leadoff man reach base. And here's the top of the order, Gregor Blanco. Blanco singled to lead off the ball game. He's 1 for 3. Fastball got away from Nola. It's 1-0. Blanco becoming a bigger and bigger part of this offense at the top of the order. Last 14 starts, he's walked 10 times. He scored 17 runs. Trying to get something going here. Down 4-2 in the 7th. That's drifting toward the seats and out of play. Diamondbacks and Phillies had kind of a strange history last year. Each team swept the other team on the road. Phillies swept here, or Phillies got swept here at Citizens Bank Park by the Diamondbacks last year. Then they went to Chase Field and swept the D-backs. Bullpen getting busy for Philadelphia. Pat Neshek, their outstanding setup man, has started warming up. And that 2-tiered bullpen in right center field. That's where Michael Brenly was spending some time the last couple of days, out in that bullpen, the Red Sox bullpen catcher.
Yeah, I came out here on the off day yesterday to see Michael and watch him go about his day's work. And part of his day's work was to catch a side session by David Price out there in the upper bullpen where the Diamondbacks are tonight. I told you about it before the ball game today. It was a little bit of a rough side session for David Price. He threw a couple pitches and they didn't go exactly where he wanted them. So when he got the throw back, he just flipped the ball up into the flower bed up there above the what is now the Diamondbacks bullpen. Got a new ball, continued to throw, and when he made a couple of bad pitches, he tossed another one. So there's about a half a dozen baseballs up there in those flowers above the bullpen.
Well, you can see how they have strategically positioned their fans right behind and above the Diamondback or visiting team relief corps.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of, as you like to say, assistant pitching coaches over there.
Yeah, they were originally flipped. The visiting team was on the bottom shelf and the Phillies were on the top shelf, but then they realized, hey, let's take advantage of our home field here. We've got some fans up there that would like to help the opposition get ready to go into the ball game.
So yeah, there's nowhere to hide if you're warming up down there. Yeah, allegedly it was Billy Wagner who requested that they flip the bullpens because one or two blown saves, and he was hearing it from the Phillies fans. Now, it looks like, I would think it'd be hard to see from some of those seats out there because you've got some of the stands blocking the view.
Yeah, when you're actually sitting on the bench out there in that bullpen and straightaway center field, you can see the way the wall is right there where the ivy is. You can't see the left fielder at all. And if the center fielder shifts far enough over into the gap in left center, you can't see him either. And for the most part, you don't see the right fielder. Just the way that bullpen is sunk back there in center field.
Backdoor breaking balls in there, and it's 2-2 on Blanco. It's lovely out there. Nice flowers. It's Mike Fetters and TJ McFarland. Smell of cheesesteaks wafting through the bullpen from Tony Lukes out there in center. Nola creeping up on 100 pitches. Neshek looks ready in the bullpen. 2-2 to Gregor Blanco with Hazel Baker at first. This ball is well hit deep right field, and there it goes. Gregor Blanco, that's his second this year, and we're tied at 4.
Wow, that ball was hit to the back of the bleachers out there, underneath the auxiliary jumbotron in right field, if you will. I mentioned this is a ballpark. If you make good solid contact and get the ball elevated, you've got a chance to any part of this park. Big balloon breaking ball that hangs up there about belt high on the inner third of the plate, and Blanco does not miss it. That was way back there.
That was on the concourse back there. David Peralta. Gregor Blanco's second, a jumbo jack, a free jumbo jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink at Jack in the Box. 100 pitches now for Aaron Nola, 62 for strikes. 1-1 on Peralta. Might have some D-backs fans here. There's some fireworks going off behind the ballpark, behind right center field. I think we brought our own pyrotechnics with us tonight.
They have a 7-second delay out there. The fireworks didn't start until David Peralta came up to the plate.
Look at Carlos Torres. Now he's hearing it from the Diamondback bullpen.
Yeah, everybody else is wrong, and you're right.
Oh boy, they've been all over him from both dugouts. All over him.
I think they may have just had the grand finale in the home run fireworks rather.
Homework.
School's
homework. Out.
School.
1-2 on David Peralta. This was odd coincidence with the timing. As soon as Blanco hit a homer, fireworks started going off in the parking lot. David singled his last time up. Now 8 hits for the D-backs. Hello.
Zoom ball.
Yep. Might be time to go get him. A single and a home run have opened up the D-backs 7th. He's off that one. Full count, 3-2. Goldie on deck. Nola struck out Goldie twice tonight, both on what appeared to be fastballs right down the middle, on which Goldie swung and missed. He's 0 for 3. 3-2 to Peralta. Up the middle, just by Galvis and into center. 3 straight hits open up the D-backs 7th.
Better get this one in quickly, partner. Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, Pete Mackanin is not going to let Aaron Nola face Paul Goldschmidt the way things have been going in this inning. So we'll take a break in what is now a 4-4 ball game. Pat Neshek on his way in. Ball game here at Citizens Bank Park. Diamondbacks and the Phillies. Hey fans, you can get to any weekend game this season with the new D-backs Bud Light ticket pack. It includes next weekend's matchup versus these Phillies at Chase Field. The pack consists of a game ticket, a Bud Light, and a bacon wrapped Sonoran hot dog, all for only $29. Get your D-backs Bud Light ticket pack at dbacks.com/Bud Light. Well, the submarining right-hander, this guy's one of the best in the business. It's Pat Neshek. He is first in the National League among relievers with that .72 ERA. An 11 1/3 inning scoreless streak. 14 consecutive scoreless appearances here at Citizens Bank Park. Here's Goldie, who's 0 for 3.
Now, one of the more unusual deliveries you'll see from Neshek, besides the submarine delivery, a very odd setup. Hands well below his waist, just kind of glides into his delivery. Basically a 2-pitch guy, sinker, slider, and it throws him about an equal amount of times.
Well, he waited on that one but knocked it foul, and he's down 0-2. Goldie 0 for 3. He struck out twice against Aaron Nola. Leading the majors in walks and on base percentage, Paul Goldschmidt. Tied with Aaron Judge of the Yankees for the major league lead in runs scored. Having an MVP year once again. Belts it into left, a base hit. 4 consecutive hits open up the Diamondbacks 7th. Peralta digging for 3rd, and he's in there. The throw is into second base. Peralta never hesitated for a moment there. Ty Kelly threw to second, but by the time he did, Peralta was already halfway to 3rd.
A slight hesitation there to make sure the ball got down, and then no hesitation thereafter as David chugs on into 3rd base. Goldie had thoughts about trying for second, but as you mentioned, Ty Kelly, once he got to the ball, immediately fired it into second base.
Well, it's hard to hit consistently off a pitcher like Pat Neshek. Hard to have any success at all, but Jake Lamb has the magic formula. 2 for 2 against Neshek in his career, including a home run. 2 runs are in, still no outs. This was Lamb against Neshek. We flash back. Minute Maid Park in Houston a couple of years ago. Upper tank. Well, you see those old uniforms? These look really cool now compared to those ones we used to have. The gray, these are a lot sharper. Tony Perez Chica coaching it there. 1-1 on Lamb. Hazelbaker hit for Corbin to lead off the inning. He had a base hit. Blanco homered. Hit it to the back of the concourse in right field to tie the ball game. Then singles by Peralta and Goldie. They're on the corners with nobody out. 1-2 on Lamb. Jake 11 RBIs in his last 8 games.
Now the approach against Neshek usually is to make him get the ball up, or at least look for something up in the zone. When he throws that sinker slider combination down there around the knees, very tough to hit anything other than a ground ball. Goldie's base hit into left field. He got a sinker up over the heart of the plate, banged it into left. Jake Lamb looking for something up in the zone here. There it was.
Checked his swing. Did he go? No, he didn't. Chris Guccione. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Franco even with a bag at third. Joseph holding Goldie on the base at first. D-backs now with 10 hits, 5 for the Phillies. Two and two. Center field, Herrera. Peralta at third. Here he comes. Here's the throw. It's cut off, and it's 5-4 D-backs. The Major League's RBI leader gets number 58. You know what that means?
Tacos.
It's not cheesesteaks.
Good grinding at bat by Jake. Ultimately gets that ball deep enough into center field that David Peralta can tag up and score. And Paul Goldschmidt with Tommy Joseph coming into the middle of the diamond as the cutoff man. Goldie tagged up and went halfway to second, forcing Tommy Joseph to cut the ball off, and Goldie then turned around and busted it back to first base where he is right now.
Well, this puts Patrick Corbin in position for his second straight win now that they lead at 5-4. TJ McFarland looks like he's certainly ready by now in the Diamondback bullpen. Rousseau singled and scored in the fourth. He's 1 for 3. Oh, Goldie. He broke for second. They got him hung up. Caught stealing. 2 outs.
Just tried to anticipate. Neshek working really quickly. Barely comes to a set position before delivering to home plate, and that time he held the ball. Goldie got caught in no man's land.
Just the 4th time all year Goldie's been caught stealing. TJ McFarland has sat down now in the Diamondback bullpen. Andrew Chafin has started to get loose. 1-0 on Chris Owings. Bases empty, 2 outs. 3 runs in. Phillies will have the bottom third of the order due up in the home half of the 7th. Rupp, Galvis in the pitcher spot. And on the hands that time.
That was hit or be hit. That ball was tailing inside so far. If Chris Owings didn't make contact, it might have hit him right in the chest.
Diamondbacks open up this inning with 4 straight base hits, including Blanco's homer that tied it 4-4. Lamb sacrifice flies, made it 5-4 D-backs. Owings lifts it in the air to right field. Altair is there. And we stretch at Citizens Bank Park. Diamondbacks get 3. They were down 2. Gregor Blanco's second of the year tied it. Lamb got another run home. D-backs lead it 5-4 in Philly. Lead here in Philadelphia. Hey, D-backs fans, stop by your local Fry's and stock up on your favorite Pepsi products using your VIP card. You'll earn valuable D-backs rewards points that you can redeem for merchandise and game experiences. Pepsi, the official soft drink of your Arizona Diamondbacks. Bottom 7 here at Citizens Bank Park. And our ash line call to the bullpen gives us the left-hander Andrew Chafin, who has held the opposition scoreless in 16 of his last 18 outings, including his last 7 straight. Cameron Rupp, who homered his last time up, his 5th of the year, leads it off. Rupp was stuck in a 6 for 58 skid before his home run with 1 out in the 5th against Patrick Corbin. Cameron Rupp leads the league in jaw.
6 pitches, 66 for strikes. 106.
I know tonight he's leading the game in jawing at the home plate umpire.
Somebody's a wordsmith. That's a long line, believe me, of guys yelling at Carlos Torres tonight.
Take a number.
2-0. This was Cameron Rupp with 1 out in the 5th, his 5th of the year. pitch walk opens things up in the 7th. That her first walk issued by D-backs pitchers tonight. And here's the switch hitting shortstop Freddie Galvis. Galvis 0 for 2. He'll bat right-handed for the 3rd time tonight. .230 on the year with 6 homers. This is another key Phillies bat with an on-base percentage lower than .300. It's a problem that's just endemic with this ball club. Galvis has not produced very much at all at the plate. Last 25 games he's hitting only .205. Pitcher spot is up next. Andres Blanco in the on-deck circle. Here comes Mike Butcher. Andrew Chafin has yet to throw a strike.
And that last delivery, maybe Andrew a little too anxious to get off the mound and cover that first base side of the field in the event Freddie Galvis tried to put down a sac bunt. Jake Lamb obviously charging hard from third base. Goldie's holding on the runner at first, so Andrew Chafin's responsibility, should the batter bunt, is to cover that first base side of the field. And that time it looked like he was a little too anxious to get into a defensive position, didn't quite finish the pitch.
Archie Bradley starting to warm up in the D-backs bullpen. Galvis trying to bunt. Goldie picks it up. Drury recovers, and they move Rupp along. 3-4 on the sacrifice. Puts Rupp at second with 1 out. Blanco will hit for the pitcher, Neshek. Andres Blanco, 186 and a homer. He's a switch hitter. Blanco stuck in a 3 for 23 right now. Tying run at second for the Phillies. 1 out here in the 7th. Still not throwing strikes. Gregor Blanco, they keep telling him come in, come in. He's shaded a couple of steps over toward right center field, but he is really shallow right now.
Really shallow. Now he's backing up several steps once again in center.
Looking into the D-backs dugout for some direction as they position the outfield. Andrew Chafin, 8 pitches so far, 7 of them balls. Blanco bats twice as often from the left side of the plate as he does from the right. It's a pretty small sample size, but he's about a .210 hitter from the right-hand side. Chafin behind 2-0. Make it 3-0. You got the leadoff man Herrera, who has tripled and singled, scored twice on deck.
That's kind of tough to figure right there. A 3-0 breaking ball, or 2-0 breaking ball rather, to a very weak hitting pinch hitter in Andres Blanco, with the top of the Phillies order due up next. You'd think you'd go right after the pinch hitter here.
Chafin 9 pitches, 1 strike. Fastball's in there. It's 3-1. Blanco backs up a bit now in center. He walked him.
may do it for Andrew Chafin. Even though Herrera's a left-handed hitter, I would imagine Chafin will stay in to face the lefty here, but his inability to throw strikes, certainly a red flag for Torey Lovullo. And you mentioned Archie Bradley seems to be locked and loaded in that bullpen.
Well, you got a couple of right-handers coming up. Several, in fact. Kendrick, Altair, Joseph Franco, but you got to deal with Herrera, the lefty, first. He tripled and scored in the fourth, singled and scored in the sixth. He's 2 for 3. Archie is ready. Cameron Rupp, the tying run at second. Andres Blanco, the go-ahead run at first. 1 out. In the air along the right field line and drifting into the seats, out of play. Nice catch. Oh, and 2.
You know, watching Odubel Herrera set up in that left-handed batter's box and the high leg kick, and we showed you that right foot. He's way inside on his arch as he's standing there in the batter's box. I would imagine somebody like Johnny Cueto gives him fits. Yeah, he's got so many moving parts in that high leg kick, and everything has to be just perfect to time a 90+ mile an hour delivery, and with Johnny Cueto doing his spins and turning his back to home plate and the hesitations.
Wow, waves at a breaking ball there. A big out, number 2, recorded by Andrew Chafin. And now the hitter is Howie Kendrick.
Yeah, a lot of aggressive swingers in this Phillies lineup, and they'll chase bad pitches in 2 strike counts like Herrera does right there.
Torey Lovullo up the steps, and he's got Archie Bradley ready. Howie Kendrick will be the hitter. 2 on and 2 out. Archie's coming in back from Philadelphia right after this. Lead in the 7th inning. Fans, lots of fun giveaways this summer at Chase Field, like next Saturday, June 24th, the Paul Goldschmidt X-Wing Fighter Pilot Star Wars bobblehead giveaway. It's courtesy of Cox Communications. On the 1st of July, first 20,000 fans can pick up a soft style State 48 patriotic t-shirt. And on Saturday, July 8th, pick up your collectible cup set before the alumni game, courtesy of Sanderson Ford. Visit dbacks.com to check out the full promotional schedule. One more big out to get in this inning, And Archie Bradley is on to get it. Archie last worked Tuesday in Detroit. A scoreless 8th inning. 12 of his last 13 appearances have been scoreless. He inherits a bit of a mess here. 2 on, 2 out. The lead is 1 run. Here's Howie Kendrick. Strike 1.
Boy, the numbers for Archie just jump off the page at you. With runners in scoring position this year, opponents are 1 for 17. That's an .059 batting average.
Cameron Rupp is at second. Andres Blanco at first. Fastball up. It's 1-1. Kendrick in there at .320 on the year. Fastball fouled straight back, and Archie's ahead 1-2. Andrew Chafin started this inning. He walked 2. He got 2 outs. Bradley trying to close it out, get us to the 8th. 1-2 on Howie Kendrick. Fastball in at 98. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Aaron Altair, their leader in home runs and RBIs, is on deck. Two and 2.
Oh.
No, he didn't.
Oh, where's the pitch?
Paul Nart. First of all, Carlos Torres called it a ball, then Paul Nart said he didn't go. And boy, the dugout from the Diamondbacks is all over Carlos Torres again.
Where's the pitch?
In the meantime, Cameron Rupp snuck into third base. Saw Mathis was headed back to the dugout. Diamondbacks were screaming at Carlos Torres. Rupp sneaks into third with his first stolen base. And now it's full on Kendrick, 3-2. Blanco takes off from first, and Archie Bradley blows him away with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. He strands 2 and keeps it a 5-4 Diamondbacks lead. A pennant race, only a game off the lead in the NL West. The Dodgers at Good American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Jock Peterson just off the DL. LA leads the Reds 3-1. Meanwhile, the Giants are in Colorado. Joe Panic off Antonio Senzatella. Panic takes it out of here. Gives Jeff Samardzija the early lead. And then a little bit later, Denard Span follows. 1-0 Giants. How about 2-1 now? San Francisco leads the Rockies, bottom third. Diamondbacks have won 4 straight, 7 of their last 8, 1 game behind Colorado's division lead. And they lead the Phillies here 5-4 as we start the 8th inning with the veteran right-hander Joaquin Benoit on for the Phillies. This pennant race stuff is exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's only going to get better.
Get your tickets, fans. dbacks.com. Long homestand coming up at the end of this month after a huge series in Colorado starting on Tuesday. First, we've got to win this one. Torey Lovullo had to come out between innings and sort of make peace with Carlos Torres. The Diamondback dugout was just all over the plate umpire for his balls and strikes, as has the Phillies dugout been as well. It's certainly been from both sides. But all's well that ends well. Archie Bradley gets a huge strike out of Howie Kendrick to strand 2. And now Brandon Drury leads off the 8th. Brandon singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. He's now hit safely in 6 straight games and 8 of his last 9. Brandon chasing some fastballs, and it's 0-2. Part of his new approach. He's talked about trying to be dangerous and drive the ball up there. Really picking out a pitch and selling out on that approach, trying to lift it and really drive the ball instead of just slapping base hits like he was doing the first 2 months of the year. He said he felt like for much of this year, Brandon was just too concerned with just getting base hits. He said that's not how you dominate. And he knows he's capable of doing a lot of damage as a hitter. So he is selling out, trying to drive the baseball, get good pitches to hit. And we've seen the results over the last week or so. Just killing the ball. Waved at a breaking pitch that time and strikes out. Boy, Benoit came right at him to start that at bat. 1 down for Descalso, who's 0 for 3. Phillies in the home half of the 8th will have their heads of state coming up. The heart of the order: Altair, Joseph Franco, 3, 4, and 5. No one warming up at the D-back bullpen, so it should be Archie Bradley's 8th inning. Makes you think back to April when Archie started out as a sensation in some of the middle innings. People were going, well, why didn't he close? Why doesn't he pitch in the 8th inning? He gets some big. Well, bullpens, it seems, Bob, always evolve, and Archie has evolved now into a very critical part, working some high leverage innings lately. And
we know from past experiences that occasionally the biggest 3 outs of the game aren't the 9th inning. Sometimes they're the 6th or the 7th or the 8th. Sometimes even earlier in the ball game.
Well, look what we just saw.
Yeah.
7th inning, runners in the corners, 2 outs. Can't win the game unless you get Howie Kendrick out right there.
And a situation that called for a pitcher that could miss a bat. You don't even want to see contact in that situation.
I haven't seen a whole lot of contact against Archie lately. 2-1 to Daniel Descalso. 96. Boy, Benoit has been pitching in the big leagues for about 30 years. And he can still bring it. Joaquin Benoit. 16 years in the big leagues. He started this season in the National League for only the 3rd time. Pitched a couple of years with the Padres in 14 and 15. Descalso skies one to center. Odubel Herrera's out there. Yeah, that'll bring up Jeff Mathis. Archie Bradley. Should Mathis reach here, will have to hit to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. Archie's on deck. Mathis had a big 2-strike, 2-out RBI single in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. That snapped a 1 for 25 stretch for Jeff.
Hey.
Fastball off the plate, but Carlos Torres says strike 1. I don't know if he's searching for strikes, but he's found a whole bunch.
Yes, he has. Where strikes normally aren't called.
1-1. It's a difficult job.
Not for a computer.
Yeah, but then you'd miss the human element.
Hey.
Wouldn't you miss the human element?
Not a little bit.
1-1.
I've said for years that for me the human element applies to the people who are competing, not the judges.
Well, they all even out in the end.
Oh, sure they do.
Wait, what? They don't? Oh. Two and two.
I mean, short of the automated strike zone, I wonder if the day will ever come, because some umpires are very good ball strike umpires. Their percentages of correct calls graded out over the course of the season. They consistently grade out as the best ball strike umpires in the game. Just have them work the plate every day.
That does change year to year. Umps can have good years and bad years, just like players. I mean, some guys are graded, and these guys are graded after every game. But some guys grade very well some years, and then the next years they drop off a little bit. Full count, 3-2.
Because I have a whole lot of candidates just to umpire third base all the time.
Why is that?
I just don't want them behind the plate. Or anywhere else where their call may affect the outcome of the ball game. So third base seems to be a safe place to put them.
My concern is that under the Brenly system, we would quickly run out of umpires.
We'd have 17 guys lined up down the third baseline.
And I think that may secretly be the goal. Chris Guccione down there tonight. The fireworks show behind right center has started again.
Anticipating a Jeff Mathis home run here.
Oh, why not? 3 balls and 2 strikes from Joaquin Benoit. Archie Bradley on deck. D-backs have out-hit the Phillies 10-5. They lead at 5-4. Trying to get to 3-0 to start this 8-game road trip. After 2 wins in Detroit. We'll play 3 here in Philadelphia. Monday's an off day. And then a huge 3-game series at Coors Field against the Rockies Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mathis drives one right center. That's going to get down. Jeff Mathis. Boy, he went almost the whole season without a 2-strike hit. He's got 2 of them tonight.
How about that? And that'll get Archie Bradley to the plate here with 2 outs in the inning and clear the pitcher spot.
8-pitch at bat for Jeff Mathis. His second hit tonight, both with 2 strikes. He's 2 for 4.
Come on, Archie, do something.
Get that beard into one.
He rarely gets opportunities to swing that bat. This will be his 3rd plate appearance of the season. He struck out in his first 2.
This always brings all the pitchers up to the top step of the dugout. Archie, first pitch, hacking. Bounces one to shortstop for Galvis. We'll go to the home half of the 8th inning. Some big Phillies hitters are coming up. D-backs lead at 5-4. That are taking place for whatever reason beyond right center field here in celebration of a 5-4 D-backs lead as we start the bottom of the 8th inning at Citizens Bank Park. Hey, D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on your TV, then stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. You can download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. Archie Bradley is out to the mound with a 1-run lead here. Diamondback fans with us for the first of 3 against the Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park. A couple of defensive changes behind Archie as we start the home half of the 8th inning. Ray Fuentes takes over in center field. He replaces Gregor Blanco, and Blanco moves over to left. Pardon me, to right. Replacing Peralta, who slides over to left. Replacing Descalso.
Yeah, you got it right. A little bit of
No, they're wrong.
Okay.
Peralta's still in right. Yeah, I was right the first time. Fuentes in center, Blanco in left, Peralta stays in right. Aaron Altair, 0 for 3, leads off the 8th. Out of play, and it's 1-2. Archie Bradley came on with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th in a 1-run ball game. Phillies had 2 runners on base. He struck out Howie Kendrick on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. It's a spinner for Goldie, barehands it. Archie gets over there. America's first baseman. He's got 2 gold gloves, doesn't even need 1 there.
That ball had so much side English. Goldie was running to his left to get to the ball. It hit the ground and kicked back to his right. Just reaches that big paw out there, knocks it down, and flips on to Archie, who did a nice job of getting over there to cover.
Never panics, always very smooth, under control, not rushing. Perfect toss. Archie's there. They get Altair. That's a big out, number 1. Here's Tommy Joseph, a Horizon High School product. Joseph singled in the 4th inning. That extended his hitting streak to a career high 12 games. This is in the air. Left center field. Fuentes has it. 2 outs.
Fans got excited momentarily when they saw the arc of that ball off Joseph's bat, but it sounded like he hit it out near the end a little bit. Just didn't get much carry at all in that gap to left center.
Quickly 2 down for Archie. Michael Franco had a 2-run double his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Franco had a big hit, 2 on and 2 outs. He doubled to deep left center field. That gave the Phillies, at the time, a 4-2 lead. Diamondbacks answered with 3 in the top of the 7th to lead at 5-4. Gregor Blanco, a 2-run homer that tied it, followed by singles from Peralta and Goldie and a sac fly RBI by Jake Lamb. Gregor Blanco, his 2nd home run of the year, one of the big hits in the ball game. Bradley ahead 0-2. The way Franco's going, I don't know if you want to have him 0-2 or 2-0. The way he chases pitches when he's ahead in the count. His RBI double, 2-run double, came with 2 strikes in the 6th. Lifted one almost off the ground from Patrick Corbin and knocked it off the wall in left center field. Franco, before that double, had been 8 for his last 56 at home. Diamondbacks in the 9th. They'll have the top of the order due up. Blanco, Peralta, Goldie. Blanco singled to lead off the ball game. Had that 2-run homer in the 7th. 1-2. Called strike 3. Archie Bradley makes short work of the Phillies. Part of the order in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th. Still 5-4 D-backs. Go ahead, BB, sing along. He's making the gestures.
Yeah.
5-4 Diamondbacks as we start the 9th inning. It'll be Gregor Blanco, David Peralta, and Paul Goldschmidt to lead it off. Blanco got one of the game's big hits. A 2-run homer that tied it in the 7th to the walkway out there. In right field, our Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing, cool play of the game. And he will lead it off against the new pitcher for the Phillies. It's the right-hander, Edubre Ramos. They have an Odubel and an Udubre. Who knew?
Who knew?
His 30th appearance of the year, a 3.14 ERA.
It just dawned on me that that Gregor Blanco home run out there on the concourse in right field was right where I was standing eating my Tony Luke's cheesesteak during batting practice today.
Did you sneak out there and get one?
I did. I had to.
You sneaky so-and-so. Man, I went to the calf. I had mashed potatoes and chicken tenders. I could have been out there. That was a couple of years ago. We had you out there cooking some cheese.
Making steaks. Yeah,
that was good.
No, I took a peek with my binoculars, and there was nobody in line out there, and the Diamondbacks were just starting to take batting practice. I said, this is good timing. I'm going to run out there and get a cheesesteak and watch the D-backs hit.
Talk about shock and awe. 0-2.
Yeah, when I went to the counter, they said, "You again?"
Tell you what, that Tony Luke's is good, though.
Good stuff.
Oh, boy. Yeah, this ballpark is always a dietary disaster. Between the chicken and donuts over there, Federal Donuts and Tony Luke's cheesesteaks in center, no chance.
And we got a relatively early start tomorrow by our schedule.
Yeah, got a 4 o'clock local start.
4 o'clock local.
1:05 first pitch back home in Arizona. Zach Godley on the mound against Jared Eichhorn.
And then the day game after that. So I think donuts might be on the menu the next 2 days.
All right, I'll step up. Breakfast with the Diamondbacks on Sunday morning for Robbie Ray. Blanco strikes out to open up the 9th.
And just the little bit we've seen of the Phillies offense tonight, that'll be one you want to watch. Robbie Ray pitching against this Phillies team.
Might throw a no-hitter.
Might strike out 20.
David Peralta. David has singled his last 2 times up. 2 for 4 tonight. Dubre Ramos, if you haven't already noticed, throws pretty hard. He's averaging just about 11 strikeouts for every 9 innings pitched this year. Tried the corner and missed. How about this? He matched his career high. Keep in mind he's a reliever, so he's working 1 inning at a time. Matched his career high 3 strikeouts 3 times in his first 8 games this year. Yeah. 1-2. Peralta sends one to right center, pretty deep, and it'll bounce off the wall. The freight train round second. He's headed for third, and he's in there with a triple. Second triple this year for David Peralta. His 3rd hit tonight. He's not doing that well over there.
You know, I noticed him in the outfield the last couple of innings when he went out there to start the inning, laid his glove on the ground and was tipping his upper body to the right and to the left like he was trying to loosen up his lower back. Didn't seem to bother him on the swing as he gaps one to right center. Certainly didn't seem to be bothering him as he ran around the bases right there. No hesitation around second and easily makes it into third base.
Yeah, that's not the usual David Peralta enthusiasm we see after a hit like that. Goldie singled his last time up. He's 1 for 4. Pad run 90 feet away with 1 out as Fernando Rodney warms up in the bullpen. David's got a little wardrobe malfunction down there at third.
Hot muggy night like this in Philly, that probably feels pretty good. A little cool air. A little ventilation.
Goldie lays off that pitch and it's 2-1. Well, there's nobody attending to David. He just seems to be okay for the moment. He might have just hurt his backside on that slide. Hopefully that was all it is. 2-1 to Goldie. Infield in for the Phillies. Bounce to shortstop. Galvis backhands it, makes a terrific play. Peralta has to stay put. Freddie Galvis keeps it a 1-run ball game.
Now that's a really nice play. Playing shallow with the runner at third base. Able to get to it with a slide, plants that right foot and throws before he even stands up. Gets it over there in time to get Goldie at first base.
Well, here's the Major League RBI leader. With Peralta at third and 2 down, it's Jake Lamb, who drove in the go-ahead run in the 7th with a sacrifice fly. He's also walked, singled, and scored a run tonight. Infield now backs up with 2 outs for the Phillies. Jake counting tonight, now 12 RBIs in his last 9 games, 58 on the year. Rodney is ready in the bullpen. Phillies will have Ty Kelly, Cameron Rupp, and Freddie Galvis due up in the 9th inning, 6, 7, and 8. Do have some left-hand hitting options on the bench. Might see Saunders, might see Nava. We'll see how it goes for Pete Mackanin. Lamb ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1. Chris Owings on deck. Didn't get the fastball. Took something off. It's full 3 and 2. Well, you must have to get started so early against a guy like this. Insurance run at third, 2 down. Ball 4 to Lamb. Second walk for Jake Lamb tonight. Boy, his plate discipline the last month or so has really been good.
And it's a good thing because of the numbers he's put up this year. A lot of teams just refuse to give him anything too good to hit.
I mean, he's walking all the time these days. Let's see, last 31 games, that's 21 bases on balls. So they're on the corners, 2 down for Chris Owings. CO a single, he scored a run in the 4th, 1 for 4. Drury on deck. Chris Owings, 9 RBIs in his last 8 games. He's up there with 2 outs. Peralta at third and Lamb at first. Fastball in, it's 1-0. That was a hard breaking ball.
Comes the obligatory pickoff attempt on Jake Lamb at first.
Well, he is a speed burner after all with those 4 steals.
Now, that being said, if Chris Owings gets to a 2-strike count, you might see the Diamondbacks try one of those break for second, stop in the middle, getting a run down, try to sneak David Peralta home from third base
before they get the out. Lamb takes off. Owings hits it right to Franco at third. So we'll go to the home half of the 9th. Fernando Rodney coming in with a 5-4 lead. Game summary from Philadelphia. Diamondbacks led it 2-0. They trailed 4-2. They now lead it 5-4 as we start the bottom of the 9th inning. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 2 of this 3-game set coming up tomorrow. Diamondback Live pregame show at 12:30 in the afternoon. First pitch at 1:05 for Zach Godley against the 0-7 Jared Eichhoff. But first, we got to finish off the Phillies in the series opener here, and on to do that is the closer Fernando Rodney. Rodney saved both wins in Detroit. It's the ash line call to the bullpen for Fernando. Saves number 17 and 18 on the year. He has produced 6 consecutive hitless outings. He has not given up an earned run in 15 straight games. Ty Kelly, the switch hitter, will bat left-handed and lead it off, the left fielder. Rodney worked both games at Comerica Park in Detroit. Both 1, 2, 3 innings. He in fact struck out the side in order on Wednesday night. Broken bat roller to second. Brandon Drury, 1 pitch, 1 out.
Man, is that big. In a 1-run ball game, to get that leadoff man, 1 out on the board, nobody on base, really ties Pete Buchanan's hands over there in that first base dugout. What he could do if that first batter gets on base really opens up a lot of different possibilities.
The dangerous Cameron Rupp, he can take you deep. He homered off Corbett in the 5th. Walked his last time up. Split changes in there for strike 1. Rodney was tremendously efficient in Detroit Tuesday night. Got save number 17, 16 pitches, and then Wednesday night save number 18, 16 pitches. 0-2 on Rupp. Out of play. Diamondbacks live post-game show follows our ball game here on Fox Sports Arizona. You'll hear from Torey Lovullo. Todd Walsh will have reaction from inside the D-backs clubhouse. Diamondbacks trying to win their 5th in a row. 1-2 on the Phillies catcher. That's also going to get out of play. D-backs have won 4 straight games, 7 of their last 8. Began tonight 41-26, 15 games over 500 under their rookie skipper Torey Lovullo, matching the best start in franchise history. Called strike 3. 2 down.
Just that 2-pitch combination from Fernando Rodney forces you to speed up your bat with a 96 or 97 mile an hour fastball, and then drops an 84 mile an hour changeup right in the middle of the strike zone.
Last man standing for the Phillies, the shortstop Freddie Galvis. Diamondbacks trying to improve to 21-8 since May 15th, the best record in the major leagues. In the air behind first. Brandon Drury's got it. And the Diamondbacks win it. There goes the arrow into the Philadelphia sky. Fernando Rodney It's his 19th save of the year. The Diamondbacks take it 5-4. Patrick Corbin wins his 6th. 3 hours and 12 minutes, and the Diamondbacks have won 5 straight and 8 of their last 9. They are 16 games over 500.
And within 1 game of 500 away from Chase Field, which is a huge improvement. And for me, the story of the game is Patrick Corbin. We've been looking for a start for Patrick that might indicate he's turning the corner. He was really good tonight.
And as we showed you earlier in our ball game, the Diamondbacks only 1 game behind the Rockies for the NL West lead at the start of play today. Colorado hosting the Giants in San Francisco in a couple of